Hello and welcome to this classical corner of the podcasting world. I'm Jack Pepper, I'm a composer, radio presenter and author, and I'm very pleased to be your host for these coffee break chats. My aim is to take you behind the scenes in classical music, on the hunt for some top tips on how to make a career in this world. Today, let's explore the physical challenges of life as a touring soloist with the help of the star cellist, Gautier Capuçon. He's worked with conductors like Gustavo Dudamel and Andris Nelsons, and with composers like Danny Elfman, Bryce Dessner and Penderecki. Now, Gautier began his playing career as a student in the now European Union Youth Orchestra, and so it came full circle when, back in 2022, he created his own foundation to support young musicians at the start of their careers. We're going to hear about his favourite sport, what meals he likes to eat, and just how much sleep he gets a night. All the important questions. But to start off, catching up down the line, I began by asking Gautier what aspect of his career he finds most difficult, even now.
Well, I think I'm learning every day, and I guess a life is not enough to learn everything we could learn. I'm not talking about the musical aspect, because now that's not the topic today, but to learn about yourself, to learn what is the right balance. So in terms of practicing, how much time do you need to practice, prepare a piece? Is it a new piece? Is it a piece you need a lot? You played a lot. How many concerts? How much rest? How much time you want to be on the road? Finding time for, of course, the people you love, family if you have one, your friends. And on this topic, I think it's very challenging, and I find it not easy to find the right balance. So I keep learning. I keep trying to put certain rules.
What are some of those rules? What's your sort of golden rules then?
Well, for example, I'm trying to reduce the number of concerts in a season, which is, I know I'm privileged. I play many concerts and this is a pure luxury, but I'm trying to reduce this number of concerts because I want to have more time for people I love, people I care, my family, my friends, and also for me. And that I find extremely difficult. And, there is always a great project. I was just introduced to someone who talked to me about a great project. And I'm thinking, it's such an exciting project. And I'm like, oh, my God. And I'm trying to, reduce my concerts. And how can I do? And this is my problem. I'm so excited by many things I want to explore, I want to try, and I think life is so rich. We're so lucky to meet incredible persons, to be passionate, but on the other hand, I'm trying to reduce. And honestly, don't ask me because I don't have the clue. So hopefully in a few years we can do the same podcast and I will tell you, I have it today.
So how many performances do you give a year generally, and what are you trying to change it to?
Too many. I must say this season I didn't really count, but I'm doing for many years, I don't know, around 140, 150 concerts, and that's too much, and I'm trying to reduce. I would love to reduce to 120 or even a bit less, but I find it extremely difficult.
And have you discovered that the hard way? Have you almost burnt out? Have you been so exhausted you think you're not on good form? Why the change now?
So before I answer to that question, they are all my concerts, professional concerts as a cellist. Then you add all the time that I spend with my foundation, Fondation Gautier Capuçon, which I launched 2 years ago and which is very important to me to help all those young musician. I was very lucky also to be helped when I was younger, and now I want also to help those people. But that's a lot of other evenings that I spend with them, I play with them. Then other projects which are maybe without my cello, which is my radio show at Radio Classeek in France, some TV programs, and this all piling up is a extremely full season. Of course, everything with travels, with all around the world. And so a few years ago, actually quite a few years ago, probably 10, 12 years ago, I reached the limit of my body, which was a very difficult moment. But on the other hand, I know now what's the limit. And, when you fall, you get up again and you learn. And I love to learn. And today I know my physical limits of what I can cope with, what my body can cope with in terms of travels, in terms of jet lag, of pressure, because it's also a life with a lot of pressure, lots of loneliness. And we're learning every day. But now today I know those limits, and I know also how to balance that, not yet with time, but in terms of keeping my body and my brain or spirit healthy.
So what were the warning signs? Are there certain things that happen when you realise you're getting close to that limit and I need to hold back? What are the things that tell you you're...
Today or 12 years ago when I touched the limit?
12 years ago.
12 years ago, it was really exhaustion. I'll pass you the details, but I was really exhausted. I didn't cancel any concerts. I canceled really, in my whole life, maybe, I don't know, between 5 and 10 concerts in 25 or more, almost 30 years of being on stage. So I didn't cancel anything, but it was very difficult. And it took me probably over almost a year to reach back with self-confidence. Actually, at that moment, I lost self-confidence. And I remember that every concert, I was gaining 1%. So the road is long to go back to 100%. Are we self-confident 100%? I don't know. But this climbing up was very, very, very slow and very long. But I could feel 1% by 1%. And I've done that myself alone. That's when I started jogging. And this is something I still do almost every day if I can, even if it's not too long. I've done a few marathons and I love jogging, but it's more about the psychological health. Jogging is really my moment. Nobody is disturbing me. The phone is not ringing, or if it rings, I just don't care about it. It's really, whether it's 20 minutes or an hour, it's my moment. And it's a kind of cleaning the spirit, pushing, putting out all the, jet lag or being tired. If I go out of a long flight, the first thing I do, if I don't have a rehearsal, first thing I do is going jogging. Whatever time is it, if I flew 5 hours, 10 hours, 15 hours, first thing I do is going to jog. So it's really kind of health routine which really keeps me healthy. And now I never touched again this limit because this keeps me far from it. And this is, I can feel, I think what's extremely important, and probably we're going to come to this topic, but is to listen to your body. Listen to your body, listen to your muscles, listen to how you feel. I think it's extremely important. Once again, I'm not 20 anymore, I'm 43, and I learn every day, and I touch those limits, so now I know. But it's extremely important to listen to your own body. I think one major problem in what we're doing is that, yes, we are a musician, but we don't consider ourselves as athletic people, sport people. I don't know what's the exact word in English. And people are not considering us as. And I think it's problematic because a big dimension of what we do is with all our body, our muscles, our back, our shoulders, of course our fingers, but much beyond that. And we have to be extremely vigilant, extremely à l'écoute, listening to our body and listening to all the signs, even the smallest one. So, for example, if you feel something wrong in the body, and that I've always done, I'm lucky to be in good, so to say, good shape physically, but once in a while, when you're tired, short night sleep, early flight, long flight, you can feel something something strange in the arms. In that case, the first thing I do, I put down the cello. This is a rule, no matter what. And I think this is extremely important because I've seen too many young musicians, thinking, okay, I practice too much. I feel my arm, but I have this huge concert in 2 days, or I have this big competition next week. I will stop after. I'll take 2 weeks break after. But after is too late. After is too late. And so, of course, it doesn't mean you should cancel a concert or a competition every time you feel something. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that we should listen and we should adjust our practicing and our playing according to that.
Did you ever feel guilty before about taking a break? Was guilt ever an emotion that you associated with not practicing, not playing the cello? Is that the ability to take 3 days off from playing the cello? Is that only a recent discovery?
Well, guilt is certainly a part of my education. So if I take a rest, I feel guilty. This I'm working on it. But this is always, on one hand, there are many things I want to do. And on the other hand, I have to learn how to take time for myself. I know that. And I'm trying, and I'm making some huge effort, and it's slowly changing a little bit. But this is something difficult for me because there's so many exciting things to do. And I'm not the type to just stay on my sofa. And so, for example, during the COVID period, the first lockdown, which was extremely long for everybody, and my days, I was waking up at 6, going jogging, and I would finish my days at 1 a.m. because I had so many things that I started to do, which I was not doing before, and my days were very full. So I have difficulties to rest. This is for sure, but I'm learning.
So what does that look like practically? Do you actually schedule in the diary time with family, time for a run? How do you practically make that change to make sure you make that balance?
Well, time for the family, certainly. Jogging became something which I prioritize in the day when I can, of course. The most important is the concert and to be ready for the concert. Let's not forget that. This is the most important, of course. But then, sometime if I have to decide between two things, maybe 1 hour sleep, or then you have to balance how many hours did I sleep. Okay, in that case, I'd rather sleep maybe half an hour less and go jogging for half an hour, because jogging will clear my mind and will give me great energy. But I always sleep before concerts. Whatever, I have 20 minutes or maybe an hour or 2 hours even if I'm really tired. But the nap for me before the concert is a way to start a new moment after the nap, which is really focusing on the concert. And it's also the only way I have to recover when I have a very short night. Sometimes we sleep very little when you have a concert and a post-dinner concert, and then you go back to your room and you pack for the next concert and without making a party. I'm just talking about, a concert finishing at 10 o'clock. You see a few people, you speak, you spend an hour to dinner, then you pack your suitcase and you go to bed at 1 a.m. easily. And then if you have an early flight at 7, waking up at 5, it makes very short nights. So I need this nap in order, once again, to, clear the mind and rest, and that the body has time to recover, but also the muscles. The body needs to be in good shape in order also to have muscles with full strength. Not even talking about concentration. You need good sleep. You need healthy food. This is also very important. And talking about food is the same. Everybody has different habits, different needs, so we all have to find our way. But this is also one part which is extremely important. I'm trying to.
We have the same limit. I have the same goal. I don't always reach it.
I try to drink 2 and then I drink decaf.
So just finally, Gautier, what would you say for young artists listening is the most important thing for them to keep in mind when there are so many challenges, and particularly when you're starting out? You can't afford to say no. You feel like you can't have that balance. You can't give yourself permission to take that jog. So when we speak about priorities in the mind of a young artist starting out listening, what would you say should be at the very top of their mind in order to stay healthy?
It's difficult because it's a mixture of all of that. And yes, when you're very young, you can't afford to say no, absolutely. But still, you have to know what to be at your best, because you don't want to present yourself on stage being tired, unprepared, or with a piece you don't like or don't understand. This is very important. So it's a mix of all of that. Of course, sometimes we go on to the limit and we think, okay, well, that was maybe too much. I managed, but that was maybe too much. Next time I should be careful on that. So every concert we are learning. I'm learning every concert on myself and on many other aspects. But that's a balance and all of that. Never going on stage unprepared, because it's better to say no than playing a concert you're unprepared, or you don't want to present yourself unprepared, because then you accepted this concert, okay, but it's going to do exactly the opposite impression. So this, of course, is a rule: never unprepared, and trying to find your own balance. I'm just going to give you an example about a piece you like or don't like. When I was very young, I was in my 20s, and there was this concert I had to do, and there was a very, very difficult piece, modern piece, which I couldn't understand. There was something, the language, the piece, there was nothing which was speaking to me. And it was a very important concert. And this concert was planned for many, many months before, and I had the score, and I prepared really long time in advance. And every time I was opening the score, I would open it and I couldn't even read it. I mean, it's like I don't speak Russian, or if I open a book in Russian, there is not one word I can understand, so you close it. With this music, it was exactly the same. I would open it, it was not, I couldn't even start. There was not, and every time I would open it and close it, open it, close it, and the concert was going closer and closer and closer. And I thought, my God, this is such a great chance, an important concert. And in the end, I had to cancel. I tried to change the program, but it was not possible, so I had to withdraw from the concert. So I think it's very important to try to figure out what is good for me, what will be good for me, and what can I do? How can I do it? Do I have time enough? So all those questions are, of course, very important. And the health question is also essential. Also to talk about it, because in music and among the young people, when you grow up, it's a little bit different when you get older. But in the young people, when you're in music school, I remember from my time, when you feel something, or you don't want to tell it to the others, because it means you're doing something wrong. Maybe you have a bad position, or you're too tense, and we are a little bit ashamed to talk about it. And most of the time, we don't know how to react, and we don't know what to do. I think it's important that we are able to talk about it. Like, you take a great tennis player or footballer, you take Roger Federer, or, when they hurt, okay, they have a press conference. Okay, guys, sorry, today I hurt myself. I have to go out of the competition for a few months, and I will recover. I will be back. And this is totally normal. For us, it's not. So we should be able, I think, to speak freely about it and be well surrounded with people helping.
Learning to listen to each other, but to our own body as well. Certainly the takeaway.
Extremely important.
Well, plenty of wisdom, as ever, from Gautier Capuçon. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
And that's it for now. Thank you for joining me, Jack Pepper. And if you enjoyed that chat, there are actually a few more with Gautier. Charlotte Gardner speaks to him about competitions and finds out more about his own foundation. You can find those other episodes, and indeed the whole Classeek 15 series, on Spotify, Google and Apple Podcasts, as well as online at classeek.com. And don't forget, you can follow the very latest on social media. It's at Classeek Music. Thanks so much for taking the time, and I hope we can do this again soon.